Hello and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture we are going to talk about another important characteristics of object-oriented programming, which is polymorphism. So polymorphism is an ability in object-oriented programming to use a common interface for multiple forms or multiple data type. So you can implement multiple data types, or you can also implement multiple function in the multiple form for the different object by using the common interface. Suppose I'll take an example. You need to just color a shape. So let me say you need to color different shape, and we have a different shape option. We have a triangle, we have a rectangle over here, and we have a rectangle, and we have a triangle. So let me say one more, that could be a square. So let me say it is a square. So you can just color this using the same interface. That is, you can make use of the same, that is, method in order to color all of these shapes. So all you have to do is pass the shape over here, which the shape should be identified, and you can also pass here something that is a color which should be given to this shape. So you can just say color attribute. So based on that color and the shape, you can use the same interface in order to color all of these shapes. So it is basically the concept which is normally called as a polymorphism. So let's make a class in order to just illustrate this polymorphism in a Python. So let me just create a one class. Let me say parrot, which was our original class, and basically it has some attributes. So first of all, let me say parrot can fly. So fly is its one method, and let me say self over here. Self is an default argument, and let me just print down here, that is parrot can fly. Now it's time to just define another method, and let me say swim is the method of this parrot. So now parrot can't swim, so I'll just say parrot. So I'll just say here that is a parrot can't swim, which is the implementation of our swim method. And now let's make another class, which would be our penguin class. So I'll just say penguin, and now let's implement this class with this same fly method. And basically in the fly method, we'll just say penguin can't fly, which is the characteristics of the penguin. So basically I'll say penguin, it should be penguin can't fly. And now we'll just implement the same method, that would be swim method. So if you wonder, here we have the same method, that is fly and a swim in each of this class, and we have a different, that is print statement over here. So it has a different meaning in each of these parrot class. So if you just say parrot can swim, then it has a different meaning over here. So parrot can't swim is a different implementation, and in this swim, basically in the case of penguin, penguin can swim basically, so it should be deferred from our parrot. So I'll just say penguin can swim. So now in order to just make use of the polymorphism, as I have already said you before, we have to make use of the common interface. So let's define the common interface outside of this class. So let's see, I'll just say common interface. It should be common interface that supports polymorphism. So now let me define this common interface. So common interface is a function, and let me say flying test. So let me say test, and here I'll just pass as a bird as a reference. It can be anything like a bird, because a penguin is also a bird, parrot is also a bird. So let me just pass here bird, and I'll just say bird dot fly method to be called from each of these class. So it is basically a common interface for each of these class. Now what you need to do is obviously instantiate this object of the class. One is for the parrot and another is for our penguins. So let me just say instance over here, which is the instantiation of the class object. So let me say first is B, which is the parrot. So I'll just say B is a parrot, and P, which is for penguin. So B is for parrot. So instead of just a B, I'll say BLO, which is our parrot, and PLO, which is our penguin. So they are our parrot object and penguin object. So now it's time to just test this object or pass this object. So in order to pass this object, we have to make use of this flying test, which is common interface for this both of the object. So first of all, I'll just say BLO, and let me just pass now again this flying test with the argument that would be PLO, which is for the penguin. So if we save this down, and you could see that we have a interesting, that is parrot can fly but penguin can't fly, which is basically our test here. So we have made use of this flying test in order to call that is the same function, which is fly function over here. So we have just printed this parrot can't fly, penguin can't fly, using this only the common interface over here. So we have made use of this fly and a swim, which has the same signature over in this parrot class too, but we have made use of this common interface in order to call this fly method independent of one another. So when you just run this down, then you could see this parrot can fly and penguin can't fly, which is calling this fly method independent of one another using this common interface. So this is our polymorphism. You can also test for the swim. So I'll just say swim test. So here what you need to do is obviously like this, what we did before with this fly. Now it's time to call the swim. So we can make use of this swim, and instead of flying test, I have to just call this swim test, and over here I have to again call this swim test. Now when you just save this down and print, and you could see the next, let me just close this down and run it again so that you could see clearly. So it is saying parrot can't swim, penguin can swim, which is calling this swim method of both of these class independent of one another just by using this common interface that supports the polymorphism. So it is really important to know about the polymorphism, where we make use of this same method with the same signature, with the same number of attribute, and basically same number of argument in different class, and we make use of this common interface to test each of these methods independent of one another. So this will be the wrap for this lecture. See you in the next one.